afternoon. So it's prime time for my presentation on the same time with Fabienne. It's not honest for Fabienne, but thank you for being here present. So I will show you a customer use case on how to use Odoo in the most flexible way with the usage of alternative measurements in your product master data and sales order. And if you have any type of questions, feel free to scan this QR code. Just drop your question at any time on the whiteboard, and the Odoo guys will pass me through the questions, and we will handle your questions at the end of the session. So first of all, a bit about myself. I'm Satish Sewnarain, working for Dynapps, responsible for the operations of the Netherlands. Um, a bit of background in, let's say, strategies, operations, financial accounting, and controller. Pretty broad, coming out of the FMCG environment for roughly 15 years, and then since 2 years lately working for Dynapps. A bit about Dynapps. So what do we do? So actually we digitalize your business processes in Odoo. Whether it's a quick start coming for standard solutions, or if you need a tailored solution fit for your business processes, we do it all. And last but definitely not least, we're the global #1 Odoo partner in the world these days, with a client retention of plus 95%. So a bit of the challenges in this specific customer use case. So the customer actually, who is sitting as well here on the front row, he was facing a complexity with calculation of alternative unit of measure. So standard Odoo comes straight out of the box, let's say base unit of measurements, calculating towards a different type of unit of measure inside the same table. But they needed a bit of more flexibility. They needed to have the flexibility inside the master data, but also real-time adjustment applicable within sales orders. And they also needed to have accurate data. So calculating an alternative unit of measures, definitely when you go into the roundings, it can go up until 16 decimals. Multiplying with another 16 decimals can give you a bit of variability in the output. So they needed that accuracy. How did we do that? Well, let's deep dive into it. We used basically Odoo as a calculation tool. So no longer Excel calculations. Basically Odoo, where you can give your measurements, give your dimensions, and calculate the flexibility of your alternative unit of measures. We needed an integrated solution where you could enter your data inside the product master data, but also have the opportunity to be able to flexible adjust that on the sales order without having your data source of truth, your master data, being overwritten. We needed to have real-time adjustments. So flexibility to adjust this at the sale order line level, and to also provide various different of unit of measures. For example, you have a product which you can sell in square meters, but you also have the same product which you can sell in cubic meters. So you would like to have the flexibility to provide your customer a price in square meters, but also in cubic meters. That flexibility we basically built in to adjust that also on the customer level, but also on the sale order level. Of course, the demonstration and the visualization will make it much more clearer, which I will show you in a second. Let's deep dive into it. So it's a video. So first of all, we go here into the product master data. So here we are in the product portfolio, where I will quickly pause. We have, so we're a global powerhouse, but we are built for local execution. So the environment is in Dutch for those who are Dutch based, which I know the middle part of my team can definitely follow that. But anyway, what you have there is a Boolean where you can basically switch on if that product is applicable for alternative unit of measures. So that is actually where now the Boolean is being clicked on. We scroll a bit down and you basically see already the developments, the customizations that we have built in. From the sales and also from a purchase side, we have now entered here multiple unit of measure. So there's meters, there's square meters, and there's cubic meters. All the way at the top here, in this area here, do you see my mouse pointer? No, but all the way in the top basically, you see that we can provide the length, the thickness, and the width. The length, the width, and the thickness of the product, so that based on the dimensions, you can calculate, okay, what is the meters, what are the square meters, and what are the cubic meters. So basically in this world, in this demo, we are now giving it a length. We will adjust a bit the width. We will also adjust. Here you can see that the calculations is being done on the square meters and on the cubic meters. Here you actually see in play the real-time adjustments, so providing you the flexibility to adjust the dimensions at need. And the beauty of it is, let's look at the prices. So depending on the dimensions, you can also see the price adjustments happening here in real time. So either you are putting a price per piece, or if you want to have the sale or the sales be coming to put on the market on a price per meter, you can actually enter all type of prices here, and Odoo will calculate for you the price per piece, the price per square meters, the price per cubic meters. Now let's deep dive into the sales process. So that was the master data process. We are building up a sales order. We are going at the customer level. This specific customer is a B2B customer. Why that is important? In the product master data, we are also highlighting what type of price we should display to the customer. If it is a B2C or a B2B, the sale order will be adjusted to the type of price. So on the product here, we are seeing that the display category is set on square meters. It's a B2B customer where we would like to display the price on a square meter. So let's reselect the product. And here you can see it's a bit small, but it's on the square meters now, the price. Real-time adjustments can happen here on a price level, on a dimension level, on a piece level, and all of the measurements will be adjusted according to the price. And the other way around. You can also play with the price, and the total price will be calculated based on the dimensions being given. So what was the results here basically? Enhanced flexibility. So seamless transitions between different processes from a sales perspective, purchase perspective, but also from a master data setup perspective. Improved data accuracy. So calculations are now being done on a unified way inside one tool. So no longer anymore Excels which are stored on your desktop, user by user, making a calculation. No, everything is stored in Odoo, basically making all users also eligible to use that specific type of measurements for a given product. And optimize operations, of course. So simplified processes from master data to sales orders, and also the adaptability in handling all the different type of measures. So let's go a bit into the learnings, and then I will open it up for Q&A. Basically, two important learnings that we took from this use case at the customer. So the importance of flexibility. Of course, we could lock it only in the master data, but then from a sales perspective, we were having questions for, okay, but I have this product only available in meters, but I'm also selling it in square meters. How can I adjust my prices? You don't want to open up the master data adjustment for your total company, because that brings data inaccuracy. So we provided that flexibility on the sale order level without overwriting the master data. So you would always have your final truth in the master data, but from a sales perspective, you were providing them the flexibility to adjust the alternative unit of measures. Accuracy is key. So consistency in data is crucial. So entering the length, the width, or the length, the width, or the thickness is crucial, right? One decimal can already lead to K euros of impact. Another learning that we took into account is the rounding differences. Rounding differences can lead to financial impact. Why? You're rounding on, let's say, 6 to 7 decimals back in the back end of Odoo. So you can always have a couple of cents of differences occurring as price variance when you are managing your invoice reconciliation towards your sales order. So it's very important to take that one into account when you are dealing with alternative unit of measures and providing the flexibility towards invoicing coming from your sales order. So now it's time for Q&A. I'm looking a bit to my left.
Thank you, Satish, for your presentation.
You're welcome.
We have 3 different questions for you. The first question is, can you buy and sell in different units of measures?
Yes. So basically, the back end of Odoo is all built. The calculation measurements are all built and coming from a product master data. So the example basically showed it from a sale order perspective, but we have also built it from purchase perspective. So also your purchasing can be done in different unit of measures, accommodating to the unit buy-in price, basically the purchase unit price. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Second question, is it possible to change the unit of measure on a SO or a PO?
It's possible to change the unit of measure. Do take into account that it will always fall back on the settings of the product master data. So the product master data is basically your fundament of the measurements. Depending on the dimensions that has been filled in on your product master data, the order itself will always fall back on that specific entries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are customizations needed for reporting?
Customizations are needed for reporting, yes. Base Odoo basically handles the pieces or the alternative unit of measure being selected, which is coming from one table. Handling multiple unit of measurements within the same table requires customization. Yeah.
Okay. There's the next question. May I do transfers and manufacturing with different units of measures?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
May I do transfers and manufacturing with different units of measures?
You can also link production orders as well to your different unit of measures, yes. Yes, all being filled and backed by the backend of the product master data again. So when it's enabled on the product master data, you can always call upon. Yeah.
Okay. I have a last question here. How do you handle receipts and deliveries with these custom units of measures?
Yeah, so basically, you always fall back on one base unit of measure, which is pieces. So from pieces, the alternative units of measurements are calculated. So depending on how you do your receipt, which is coming from a purchase entry, the product master data also needs to be enabled. Like, okay, I have my supplier A, which is providing me the goods in pieces. I need to be able to do my receipt in pieces. In the product master data, you can enter basically what type of unit of measure is leading for receipt, but also for purchasing. So, and that is where you basically then select the alternative unit of measure in case it's applicable. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, it looks like we do not have any other questions, so thank you for listening and thank you.
So
Satish.
the last one, of course, we have a booth in B5, Hall 10. The middle section there with the white shirts are also Dynapps representatives. So if you have any questions, feel free to also ask them. Thank you all. Oh, another question?
Looks like we have another question. And
Go for it.
We have still a little bit of time. The different units of measures must be of the same type, like weight, length, etc.
Well, actually, when you look at the dimensions all following into meters, square meters, and cubic meters, it's all built based on the length, the width, and the thickness. So actually, yeah, it needs to fall under the same category in this case. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, if you do not have any other questions, do not hesitate to come see Satish at the end of the presentation. And thank you for your talk.
Thank you for the time. Thank you all.